would like to invite here on our virtual stage one of the most respected DMCs in Argentina, Maita Barrenechea from MAI. Welcome, Maita.
Thank you, Marcelo. Hello, everyone. Well, thank you for attending, and thank you, Remote, for organizing this forum. Should I start, Marcelo, or?
Yes, you have your 20 minutes.
Wonderful, thank you. Well, I was thinking, these days of what to share with you, and I thought it would be maybe interesting to share 3 anecdotes that I consider were inspiring and could be inspiring for you. And there are mainly, like the first 2 are anecdotes about experiences we have created and the backstage of how they came about, because we are really focused on creating what we tend to call MAI signature experiences. So I wanted to share one of them. The first one, I think, fulfilled the goal of becoming a happy and memorable experience for the client. And the second one, I think, was a little stronger. It was a little bit even life-changing. And the third anecdote is something more from the heart, something that happens spontaneously during a trip. And I always believe that our job is helping create these special memories. That's what travel is about for our clients. But in the process, in doing so, many times we create just very happy memories or heartwarming memories for ourselves that stay forever. And I thought this one was very special to me, and I hope I can convey it in a way that it can be inspiring for you too. So I'll start from the beginning, if you allow me to share the screen. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Oh, sorry. Okay, there we go.
Yes, well, we can see it.
Sorry, you all see it. So MAI is dedicated to designing tailor-made trips throughout Argentina on our 2 neighboring countries that are Chile and Uruguay. Many times I'm asked, why MAI? Where does the name come from? And I'll briefly explain it. Well, you see up on the right-hand corner a logo. Well, MAI is a play on words between my name, that is Maita, but my nickname is MAI, M-A-I, and the number 10. And you see a little logo with a round-shaped tree. That is a MAI. The MAI is a tree that is native for Patagonia, and you actually see it on this picture. It's this perfectly round-shaped little tree, maybe just like the tree that a child starts drawing when he starts drawing, like the little house and the little tree. Well, it has this very beautiful round-shaped canopy, and it's because the leaves are so delicious that the wildlife of the area, this is in Patagonia, northern Patagonia by the Andes, and this tree grows in these little groves. So the deer, especially, and the wildlife, they stretch their heads up to eat the leaves and then form this like perfect little roof that is a perfect shade, as you see ourselves sitting under the shade of a MAI tree. MAI is also a date. It's a date when Argentina became a country. May 1810 was our first Argentine government. So it's our most important national holiday. And May 10th is the day that we celebrate our company day at MAI. Also, the number 10 in our culture is like our goal for excellence. Like in school, our grades go from 1 to 10. So if you get a 10, is what you aspire to. And it's what we try to do at MAI every day. We try our best. So it is our goal for excellence. So all those little symbolisms are the idea around, when you have to create a name for a company, how it came about. But MAI is a family company. And what you see in the picture under the MAI tree is my husband and myself in Patagonia. And my youngest daughter, Catalina, who is a partner and owner of MAI too. We're so blessed that she is part of our company. Every summer, we move offices from Buenos Aires to Patagonia, which is our place in the world, and plan these tailor-made experiences under the shade of MAI trees and in the wilderness, which is our favorite place. And it's the family time for us. It's when our daughters come to celebrate the festive season. I have 3 daughters and 3 grandchildren and a dog named Charlie. And every activity or experience that we offer, we test and scout ourselves. It can be from a painting lessons to outdoor activities, to these magical picnics in the forest, or a romantic setting on the lakes, or, you know, picking up these logs to create these chairs for special picnics, lunches, looking and scouting for the perfect little island to create a special experience for a client on a nature day. And these we come to call my 10 signature experiences. So the first anecdote I wanted to share, and by the way, we always try to personalize, surprise, and innovate with these experiences that we create. And I wanted to share this first anecdote about this experience we created a couple of years ago, which was for a client. I received a call from an agent from Chicago telling us that she had a client who had requested to come to Argentina, and it was a very special anniversary for him and his wife, and they wanted to live a special experience. He is an avid fly fisherman. She does not fish, but it loves hiking. And they wanted something to be as adventurous and into the wilderness and in pure nature, away from other people, away from any other tourists. So the agent asked me, is there any place that you can think of in Argentina where this can happen? And I closed my eyes and I said, yes, of course, I have the perfect situation. And she said also, well, they want to celebrate the end of the year, New Year's, with a very romantic dinner. Maybe you can create, they don't want to be with other people. So maybe if you go to a lodge or something, maybe they can create a special dinner apart and, with romantic, with candles and so on. And I said, sure. And immediately in my mind, I thought, well, what would be more romantic? Because I'm a little bit that way too. I love adventure, I love nature. And it's this spot in the farm that belongs to my husband's family that I think is our place in the world. And I thought, and I remember this magical bridge, hanging bridge that exists there. So since he enjoys fishing, I thought, well, he can go fly fishing in the river during the day, and she can go with a guide hiking in those mountains that you see in the back. And at the end of the day, surprised them, they hadn't seen this bridge, surprised them with a romantic evening, which happened like this. He went fishing in this fabled river and spent a day in solitude in nature. She did the same thing. She went hiking in the mountains and had a day for herself. At the end of the day, the 31st of December, she arrived walking from one side of the bridge, and he arrived from the other side of the bridge, and saw each other in the distance and walked to the middle where we had prepared this lovely little table for dinner. And so they spent this romantic moment having dinner together, with the sound of the river rushing underneath and the sun setting in the distance, and toasted for the new year to come, saying goodbye to the memories of the years that had passed and letting the new year arrive into their lives. Well, when they went back and the agent called me to share the feedback from the trip, she said the client was so happy and excited to share what he had lived, because he said that even now, it was more than he had imagined would happen, that it was a great reconnection and bonding with his wife, that he still would close his eyes and would listen and hear the sound of the river rushing through under the bridge and enjoy the sunset that was magical in the horizon. And that this, fait accompli, that we had, succeeded in creating a special memory. And that's exactly what I think we do every time all of us are in this profession, create trips. So I think that's the luxury under our sky. In Argentina, we're blessed with these wonderful nature, these incredible natural wonders, which are the perfect canvas to create any outdoor activities, from waterfall to mountains to glaciers to deserts. So we try to create these experiences, if it's a family trip, or if it's a honeymoon, or if it's a romantic road trip through the less traveled roads, always trying to give authenticity and sense of place, whatever is the culture of the region, to share it with clients. If it's culinary experiences or supporting local communities, always trying to share with locals. And following the magic of each season, and especially with wildlife. For example, I wanted to share a second anecdote, and this was the one that I realized later that it really became life-changing for a client. Well, I received an email. This time it was an agent from California, a trip for a client who wants to come to Argentina with his son for a graduation trip. And well, they're both very adventurous too. They enjoy nature, and it's going to be his son's birthday. And he said if he could surprise him, the passion of this boy was paragliding. And so she asked me, is there a place in Argentina where they can go paragliding? And that, you know, it can be a birthday present, a surprise for the boy. I said, sure, of course, you know, our son is a great paraglider. We paraglide, but he's the expert. So I thought of an idea that we had been doing around an activity that we had already created before. So it happens that in Argentina and in the Andes, all the region of the South America that has the Andes, we have our wonderful bird, which is the condor, which you can see on this picture, which has this very wide wingspan of 3 meters and these wonderful wings with feathers that are like fingers, and they glide and turn and soar in circles in the sky. And we happen to have, so we created this activity, which is condor watching. And we happen to have the world expert in condors, which lives in Patagonia in the region. So we have this activity that we go out into the countryside. We can arrive on horseback and with a telescope, you know, look at the condors and learn about their habitat and habits and where they roost. And in the meantime, we have this wonderful chef, Lucas Malman, which will prepare and demonstrate how to cook over fire, grilling the Argentine way. So we enjoy a wonderful culinary experience and a nature experience with the condors. And later, we sit and enjoy these incredible views with the condors soaring in the sky. So here's where the paragliding comes about. This is the condor. Of course, you cannot assure that they're going to show up. This is nature. So of course, this was going to be a surprise also for the father. You know, we said, yes, we're going to do a paragliding day. And we asked him if he enjoyed nature and wildlife. And the father said, well, not necessarily. I'm not that into wildlife, but if it is something important or very authentic from the region, I would be interested. So we thought the condor deserved this experience. So they enjoyed all the horse riding, the condors, and they loved food. So they enjoyed the great lunch and grilling outside. And then we took out the paragliding, and just paragliding, the sun went out flying, and just having this scenery could have been a great memory to keep, you know, paragliding in Patagonia with these wonderful views. But we were lucky that day. We didn't say anything about the condors. You know, my son, when he goes out paragliding in Patagonia, in the areas where there are condors, many a times the condors are so curious that they approach the paragliding. And even the condor expert, we're not really sure what is the reason. We don't know if the condors distinguish colors. Maybe it's the colors of the apparel. We're not really sure what is the condition. But the condors usually are very curious and approach the paragliding. And we were very lucky that day because that happened. So the boy was flying eye to eye with a condor. And I can't tell you how this can be for someone who can be really moved by this, because the condor turns and, you know, the boy turned, you know, flying. Then he turned and the condor turned. There was a connection between this flying creature, this bird, and the boy. It was such a thrilling experience that it was quite unbelievable. He came down to the ground and insisted his father had no intention of flying at all. He had never paraglided before. He said, Dad, you have to come. You don't know what I just experienced. You have to come with me. He insisted so much that the father went up and flew with the son. So they flew together in tandem. And how lucky were we? Not only one condor, a second condor appeared, and they were flying with one condor on one side, one condor on the other, with this eye-to-eye connection, like flying for a whole long time in the air. When they came down, they were so thrilled, so excited. The father started talking with the condor expert, our guide, and well, he ended up supporting the creation of a foundation for the conservation of condors, and became like an avid condor, bird watcher and a conservationist for wildlife. So for him, he said that this situation, which was a simple surprise on a trip for his son, ended up being quite a life-changing experience. Well, this went on, and we thought, you know, we always have different kinds of requests for all kinds of trips. And we had a request for a family, which was a family where he was a bird watcher, actually, and the mother was an artist, and the two small children just enjoy crafts and nature and outdoors. So, you know, the agent asked me, what can we create for them? I remember the story of the paragliding and the condors, and I said, well, if the father enjoys bird watching, then maybe he should see condors. And if she enjoys art, you know, in this area, we also happen to have this wonderful artist, a woman, who crafts kites, handcrafted kites for flying in the mountains. And so we took the family to her, and they built this, the children with them, this kite with the shape of a condor, the boy. The girl preferred a diamond-shaped pink kite. So they did both, the pink kite and the condor. And we went out with the expert and they flew the kites. And again, a similar experience happened. The condors were attracted by the kite, and it wasn't the paragliding, but it was the kite. And again, it was a very thrilling experience for the family, for the father, the mother, putting all together, all of this, the art, the nature, and the surprise of the wildlife. So that's a little bit about this anecdote, because we think that at the end of the day, it's all about people. So I wanted to show you our team. All this is done by our wonderful team at MAI 10. And usually our business cards are all illustrated, and this is one of them. They're all different, but I just wanted to show you every person that you see on this illustration are real people. Like the couple that are dancing tango, they're Ricardo and Mariel, and the two little children that are sitting on the sidewalk are their twins, and they work in MAI 10 for many, many years. You can actually see myself walking out of the office with our two little dogs, Charlie and Jumpy. But all of these are real people, so I just wanted to say thank you, and I won't share the screen anymore. But I wanted to share the third anecdote. So I did this correctly. So I'll try to be brief. The third one is something that, as I said, is a story that happened, not planned, not pre-planned. I think that when we're doing what we say is our job of creating memories, and sometimes they become memories for us, it was the special example that I'd like to share with you now. In our 39 years that we've been working in our job, we had all kinds of experiences that are really great memories for us. And in those years, many times we had, to prepare trips for all kinds of people, great people of all kinds, but many times we also had to do it for, personalities or celebrities or these special characters. And that was, of course, an incredible experience. I had the chance of meeting the Beatles, to Mick Jagger, to, I don't know, Princess Diana, I don't know, the astronauts that reached the moon, Madonna, whatever. But one of them, or all of them, marked me in a special way because I do have memories. And I've always been asked, can you share a memory? And I always feel that I can't because, these are supposed to be confidential trips. But I always remember something that my grandmother would teach us. And she would always say, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything. But if you have something nice to say, just share it, because it's nice to share a good memory. So I thought that I could share a memory of one of these, personalities that I had the honor to prepare a trip for. And in this case, it will be Bono. Bono, U2. Well, we were blessed with having the responsibility of organizing his trips to Argentina. And on one occasion, Bono came, they came all together with the band, and they were doing their South American tour. So, and they decided to use Buenos Aires as a base. The tour of South America lasts a month, and they went and played in different cities. But in the meantime, they would come back to Buenos Aires, and in between, we would have to organize trips for them, their families, their friends, to different parts of South America. And in this occasion, the band decided to stay at a hotel, and the team as well. But Bono, he wanted to stay in a private home. So we had to research and find the perfect home for him for all this month to be his base. On this occasion, he could not travel, his family could not come. So he invited his friends. And that's the first thing that really made me very endearing to this personality. Bono travels when he can with his lifelong childhood friends, the same 6 boys that grew up with him in the same city block in Ireland. Those are his precious friends that he invites on these trips. So this house that I had, to find was for him and his friends. And it was quite an easy task, I have to say, to prepare the house, because sometimes these celebrities can be very difficult. But all the requests were very down to earth. Of course, we had to have a private chef and accommodate a special gym because he has a back problem.
Maita, sorry, two minutes more. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay. So just to end the story, everything was going very well. My daughter, Catalina, was in charge of organizing his trip and was the house manager. And in the middle of the week, I get a call of the month that he was staying here. I get a call from this woman called Monica. She's the president of Make-A-Wish in Argentina. And she tells me this heartbreaking story of a little boy called Mateo that has this syndrome, this terminal disease, and all his dreams about is meeting Bono. So I try to make this happen. And I try not to jump boundaries. I call the personal assistant, Jenny. She says she will try. But as days go by, nothing happens. So I suddenly say, well, maybe you can take the little boy to a restaurant, because Bono is very, I mean, he wants his privacy when he's in the house, but every 2 or 3 days he goes to a restaurant and he loves his fans and he's fine with the fans coming to him. And she says, no, 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 the boy cannot leave the house. He's confined to a bed. He's blind. Wow. So days pass. Last day, my daughter Catalina tells me, Mom, Bono is inviting us over for lunch tomorrow as a farewell lunch to say thank you for the time and all we've dedicated to him all this month. So of course we go. We have this incredible, wonderful lunch. It's just Bono and his best friend, this crazy hippie, hair down to his waist artist called Guggy. So it's Bono, Guggy, Catalina, and I enjoying this wonderful lunch. Lunch is ended. We pass on to the living room, and Bono looks at me and says, Maita, you know, I am so grateful for what you have done, you and Catalina and your team all this month, that I'm forever grateful. And since now on, you are family to me. And I just want to ask you if there's anything I can do for you. And I think this is my moment. So I say, yes, there's a little boy called Mateo, and I tell him all about it. And it's pouring rain and there's a thunderstorm outside. I see Bono won't be able to go and see Mateo. He says, we can record a message, of course. And it was the times when we had a BlackBerry. I didn't even have an iPhone or anything like that then. So, and he said, but you said he's blind. I said, well, but the father would help him. And he said, but he doesn't speak Spanish. And my daughter said, I'll translate. So all of a sudden we were recording this video, and it's Bono just saying, hi, Mateo, it's Bono here, this crazy Irish rock star. And I want to tell you that I love you, that I will be praying for you every night before I go to sleep. You will be in my prayers. I will pray to God that you get strong, that you get healthy, that you recover, so that next time that I come, I can visit you in person. And I will sing you a song so that you can listen to it. And I hope it will be good for you. Well, all of this, I run after I had to download it, put it on a memory stick. Those times you can even send a video. And I take it to this woman, Monica. Well, the story is, 2 days later, I get a call from the father thanking so much that the boy is all day long with the headphones on, sitting on the bed, playing once and again and again and again and again to listen to Bono. And the story is also that, the life expectancy of this little boy was maximum a month. He lived almost more than 9 months more. We don't really know if it was anything to do with Bono's video, but immediately I wrote a letter to Bono to thank him and to share this story with him. And he was the sweetest man on earth. He was so grateful. He dedicated a song to Mateo. So I thought that was very inspiring to me to know that these, big idols can have a huge heart too, that I thought it was a nice anecdote. And that my grandmother said I could share these nice stories. So I hope you liked it, and thank you for your time.
Bravo, excellent, Maita. You ran out of time, but we just couldn't interrupt you with this amazing story.
So, but I had to rush through it. I wish I could have given more details, but it was really special.
You could have used your whole presentation to tell this story in deep details. It was very interesting.
That's what our profession gives us. That's why I'm so grateful too, that we have these memories. And I think sometimes we have to share them because they're not ours,
excellent.
They're out there.
That's the idea of this initiative, just to tell stories that usually you don't have time to say in business meetings, in normal presentations. So that's exactly the idea. Thank you very much, Maita.